Hi. These verses I'm going to quote, and they're from Romans 7, and it's from verses 14 to 20, including 20. And it's by Paul, the Apostle Paul, formerly Saul of Tarsus. Now, for me, I love these verses because what they demonstrate for me is the truth about how human beings behave. It's equivalent of modern science, modern medicine, and they're describing how the blood flows, and you can see diagrams and whatnot. And this, which is very remarkable, because there's two categories of truth. You can have the truth of the knowledge of human beings, and you can have the truth about God, or the existence of God, or about God, however you want to word it. Now, if you can trust a person to explain something about the human body and say, well, this person has said something and it makes sense and it seems true because I'm believing it because that's what happens to me, then you can ask a further question and say, well, if this person can inform about the truth of the body, could this person inform another individual about the truth of God? Now, in this quote, Paul is describing generally, but I want to be more specific. I want it to talk about all things sexual, like looking at women, naked women. How should we think about naked women? Can you think in a good way of a naked woman? That kind of thing. Because this happens to me all the time. Right, here we go. From 14. Romans 7, starting from 14. And before I begin, his first verse says, we know that the law is spiritual. And he's talking about the Mosaic law. But the Mosaic law is a template for any rule that a person can be given to follow. Now, here we go. We know that the law is spiritual, but I am not. I am unspiritual, the purchased slave of sin. I do not even acknowledge my own actions as mine, for what I do is not what I want to do, but what I detest. But if what I do is against my will, it means that I agree with the law and hold it to be admirable. But as things are, it is no longer I who perform the action, but sin that lodges in me. For I know that nothing good lodges in me, in my unspiritual nature, I mean. For though the will to do good is there, the deed is not. The good which I want to do, I fail to do. But what I do is the wrong which is against my will. And if what I do is against my will, clearly it is no longer I who am the agent, but sin that has its lodging in me. Now, we can go over step by step and inserting the example. So let's see, where can I go? Okay, we'll start from 18. For I know that nothing good lodges in me, in my unspiritual nature. I mean, for though the will to do good is there, the deed is not. So let's take pornography. Now, at the moment, pornography is becoming particularly integrated into society and is more and more acceptable. Now, but is that a good thing or is that a bad thing? Because there's good ways of doing things and bad ways of doing things. I mean, if you look at a woman involved in sexual acts, you're going to look on them in a derogatory way. You're never going to think highly of them. When do you ever think of a woman highly when you see a woman engaged in a sexual act? Or a man, for that matter, for the women or homosexuals out there. You can't. You're deceiving yourself if you're going to say, oh, I think men and women are great when they're having sex. I can stop you right there and prove how false you are. Because let's take the nature of sex video, homemade sex videos. Now, we have celebrity sex videos. That's all the rage. One springs to mind, Kim Kardashian. Everyone jumps on the bandwagon about attacking that. But sex videos demonstrate, well, for me, the naivety and ignorance of people who mock such an act. Because if you are not ashamed of sexual acts that you are involved with, why do you reject doing them? Because there was an episode from Friends, and Rachel and Ross made a sex tape. But what were their reactions to it? They were embarrassed about what they perceived as love between two people. They claimed they were in love. They claimed that sex between two loving people always had love. Now, every person that thinks sex should be put on a pedestal should consider creating a sex video for themselves and look at it. Because if you cannot look at it with your own eyes, then you are saying to yourself, you are conversing with yourself, what I am doing is not right. Even though sex is natural act, there seems to be certain laws that say you shouldn't be doing things like this. Because why are you ashamed? Why is your subconscious provoking you? Because you can read this verse again. I do not even acknowledge my own actions as mine, for what I do is not what I want to do, but what I detest. Oh, that you can watch yourself having sex, and watching yourself having sex, then read Romans 7:14 to 20. Then ask yourself a question. Did this guy Paul get it right about the nature of a human being? Then, if he can be trusted, as I said earlier in this video, you have to take the next step. Can he be trusted to reveal something about God